That's a great thing. And especially with Ganesha also, he's the one who creates obstacles so that he's preventing harsha karma from coming your way. That's actually what is happening in the form of obstacles.
Right.
And you'll eventually, when you look back at all the obstacles you face, you'll be grateful for all the obstacles, because you are where you are at that moment because of those obstacles you had actually. So that is one very strong, and you can make sense because of that. 8th house energy obstacles. 6th house is again obstacles, that kind of thing. That is very strong also. And definitely, what is again, Ganesha, the animal is also mouse. Mouse is immediately activating Maga. It's also activating Purafalguni, which is a past life Maruts also. And many times when you worship Ganesha, you immediately connect with a lot of people from your past life. That can actually happen. That will just happen by itself, because of that. And then Ganesha is the elephant. It's very interesting with Ganesha also and Barney, because an elephant had to die for Ganesha to come. So it kind of shows there's an indirect connection with Barney also, to be frank, with Ganesha. And you look at that, it makes sense from the stories, because Indra was the one who actually said Yama to control Varuna. So that's an indirect kind of how that energy of the story is playing out. With the Jyestha and the Barney native. That's one thing that can happen. Now, what is very interesting also is that so these stories, right? So one different suggestion I can say is that for these natives to read Ganesh Puran. Like, you look for the next 10 days, start looking into Ganesh Puran, look at all stories of Ganesh Puran, look at all, read all, and you'll find it can actually heal, because these 10 days are very special days. You begin from Chaturthi, and for the 10 days you worship Ganesha for 10. And there are people who even say that if you in the night time of Ganesh Chaturthi, right, in the Brahma Muhurta of the day, which is supposed to be Ganesh Chaturthi, wherever you are located, if you chant the Ganesh mantras like 108 times, and even the Ganesh Gayatri mantra, so like Om Gam Ganpati Nama 108 times, right. The Ganesh Gayatri mantra, there's this Vakratundaya Dhimahi, you can find it online easily, that kind of mantra. And then you chant that 36 times. It's said that you wake up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and do that. Actually, the biggest obstacles for the entire year is actually removed. Oh, wow. So that's one thing that's said. So that's a powerful thing on Ganesh Chaturthi day. But what I actually advise my clients is that install a Ganesha. Say you have fifth lord with either of these nakshatras. Make your children make a Ganesha. If your children don't do it yourself. It's your fifth house anyways. Any other planets, even do it yourself. And then install a Ganesha in the shrine room, in your altar. Give a seat for Ganesha. So now the Maga is activated. A throne is given for Ganesha. And then you feed him, right? You're feeding Ganesha. You're immediately activating Jupiter. You feed him laddus. You can buy laddus and give him. You can make modaks and give him. All that is great. You can do proper puja. All that.
That exactly happened, Sandeep ji. A few days back, I was doing one chart and I was seeing the same combination where I told was certain planets were in Maga. I said that why don't you make children play with the Ganesha in your house?
Yeah.
Not you, not yourself. Make your children play with your Ganesha. So it's a beautiful point you have mentioned. It really vouch for what I have recommended to someone. Beautiful.
Yep, for sure. Children. Ganesha is childlike, really well. Ganesha is the first god, right? So it's like he's very childlike. He loves dancing. There's a dancing Ganesha. You can find that also. That kind of thing. So it's like Ganesha like a jolly person, actually. It's like, we make it serious because we are like all astrologers or whatever, but then actually prankster too, big time prankster too, so that's there. So there's a lot of, so you can do a lot of things with Ganesha. And in fact, Ganesha itself is like an entire book by itself. You can say that.
I always say, at least you can watch a Leela of Ganesha. So many good shows are coming in India.
Yeah.
Ganesha.
Yes.
At least you can watch one episode on a big day like Ganesh Chaturthi. At least you can see what Ganesha is all about, and lot of lessons are there in the epics, and that's what I have learned from the piety.
Yeah, for sure. If you look at, you'll find that the Ganesha is actually able to. The epics are the story playing out in epics is very much the story that will play out in your own life.
Yes.
So that is one thing, and you understand how the story is playing out in the epics. You can understand how you can deal with your life also. Eventually, you will just understand it very quickly. In fact, Jyestha, like the Suryaputra Karna. That's one more thing with Jyestha I can say. Like Suryaputra Karna I had a cousin who had a major planet in Jyestha, and when he was going through a heavy transit of Saturn in Jyestha, that was one TV show which literally, gave him. He was this like, you won't expect him to be spiritual or whatever, but he'll be quoting quotes from Karna literally, and then I would have philosophical debates with him. Okay, well, what, did Karna do the right thing and stuff like that? He'll explain it. Okay, Karna was trapped in by his own words and stuff like that.
Right.
So that kind of thing. So it's like these character. I mean, they begin literally the Mahabharata by saying, there is no story that is not there in the Mahabharata. That's what they say. You will find all this. There is no story that is left out of Mahabharata. Like all possibilities are literally written down in Mahabharata. And if you literally read the Mahabharata, read that, and now you go to the next level and you start reading the Puranas, which is much more older than that. That is carrying much more high level things. And you'll actually, these are actual remedies. These are actually powerful remedies. In fact, people with Kritika, I tell them to read the Agni Purana. Same thing with Vishaka also. Read the Agni Purana. I just tell them, read it. You'll find something happening there. With these planets, I can say Ganesh Purana is the best Purana to start off. Especially for the next 10 days. I can say that for sure.
While you said that, Dr. Pai once told me the simple remedy for Kritika, because see, so many points just
Right.
when you talk about certain nakshatra, he said the simple remedy one can do is by looking at the flame see-through.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Exactly that.
Things are very simple. It's just that we have gone complex.
Exactly that. Now with Kritika, I had a client, who just said, I quit smoking after meditating on fire for a week or something like that.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
Because I said, you have planet in Kritika, you need a connection with fire, and that's exactly that. And it makes sense. You look into that. Agni likes ghee and all that. It's a lot of you can actually happen. So when you connect with these energies, Jyestha natives can be actually very wealthy. Ashlesha native, if you connect with Naga energy, you can actually be wealthy, big time wealthy. Same thing with Mula. Mula literally is wealth. Ardra can bring you wealth through futuristic manner. All that is there. So it's like you need intense thing. You can actually get, and to become intensely wealthy, you need to be connecting with those energies. Understanding those energies through these remedies and stuff will actually help you out in the more.
Right.
So then, you'll see that in these intense energy, Tikshna Nakshatra is actually playing out in very interesting charts. Actually, it's very, very important. But yeah, at least I have to say that definitely adding the Ganesha element will only enhance whatever you are doing, because I don't think it's an accident that we are talking about Tikshna Nakshatras on the day before Ganesh Chaturthi. And whatever remedies I've suggested will definitely help out for sure. Definitely in the next 10 days, if anyone does that, I'll be very, very grateful, because you'll actually be bringing down the energies of Ganesha into your life. You'll be bringing stability into the world itself.
Yeah.
So by stability into your own life, stuff like that. That's one more thing I can say. Yeah, Manji. So that's what I have.
There's one thing, Sandeep ji, I would like to know from you, because a lot of people ask me, and I think you're going to do a better justice explaining this. What you have seen, Sandeep sir, in your analysis, because I know you see a lot of charts, because not many people talk about that. What happens, or what you have seen, when a person or the native is having a parivartan between the nakshatras with two planets? Like suppose someone is having a sun in Rahu Nakshatra and Rahu in Sun Nakshatra. So what you have seen in that?
So it's like both those planets are literally walking hand in hand, with each other. So like you can't independently analyze one nakshatra with other.
Right.
So those both energies will play out immediately, and it will be interesting to observe. Like one thing is leading to the other thing, other nakshatra will be activated, and that other nakshatra is finally leading to the other thing. So this parivartana will kind of help improve the relationship for sure in many ways. That's one thing you can say. Definitely that energies are very strongly linked then. The other thing is that definitely the houses and stuff, you'll have to look into which houses that's ruling, those individual planets are ruling. Those will also come into effect. Usually, I've seen that if it's usually that if it's like a parivartan, in Rashi level, the parivartan is supposed to be very good. Especially certain parivartans are supposed to be very good, like Rajog parivartans. Even there's what do they call Vipreet Rajog also based on parivartan also. You can say if a 6 lord is in 8th house, That's a Vipreet Raj Yoga by default. Then you have the 8th Lord and 6th house. Now you have Parivartan, which is a Vipreet Raj Yoga. So that's a very powerful thing, So if any of those planets are, if any of those planets are ruling any of these houses, like then there's a default that kind of setting happening. You can see the Vipreet Raj Yoga. If it's a Vipreet house, you just look at the houses that are connected with those planets, and then begin to look at that. Now, the one more interesting thing that will be is that you have to one more thing to look at is like look at the relationship between those two planets. Are those planets friends to each other, or are those planets enemies to each other? That will also have its own kind of energy to play out. So it's like which bhava is also very important. You could say, so if one planet is going, let's see, if one planet is going 6 houses away from other, right? So you have a 6-8 relationship with each other. Say it's like 5 houses away from each other, you have 5-9 relationship with each other, and so on. So that will be much more auspicious, much more peaceful, harmonious. But doesn't mean that the 6-8 relationship is difficult, especially if the house rulership is like auspicious houses, like Kendra, Trikona, or something like that. And suddenly now, even though it's like a Rajyog Parivartan that is happening at one house level, even though it's a bhava kind of thing is happening in a difficult kind of situation with 6-8 or something like that. But the 6-8, the challenges you face is actually leading to a Rajyog eventually. So that is one thing, In fact, there are, I think, one astrologer online had said that any planet placed in trine, right? He was saying that he was observing Rajyogs being activated, because if the planet is in the same nakshatra, even if it's like this exact, so say Jyestha, you have a planet in Jyestha, you have Jupiter in Jyestha, let's imagine. Then you have, say, Mercury in Ashlesha. And those are, for a Virgo ascendant or a Sagittarius ascendant, those are like very Kendra lords. So suddenly you have, it's like a Rajyog being activated because of being in the same nakshatra. So I think I do think that's the next level in which we have to begin to think about yoga. You have to take the yoga studies to the next level.
Everyone talks about the planet parivartan, but no one has given a very good description on the nakshatra change. Because I see a lot of times now in a lot of charts, but people ask me, and I always say that first I have to learn this from the Pi team, only then I can answer you that.
Yeah, I wish I knew a lot about yogas and stuff, but I haven't studied that much. In the future, I hope to study that. But in my opinion, what I've observed, seeing, is that if a yoga is any concept that you can apply the Rashi level, you can apply the same at the nakshatra level also. So that is one thing I would begin to say. So, but then at the nakshatra level, there's just a lot more parameters to look into. Right? So it's just that's it. But if you begin to look into it, eventually you'll begin to see a lot of things. You can make a lot of things. Like for instance, they say sun is born in Vishaka Nakshatra. Then you can almost say that, and then say sun. You have a planet. You have Jupiter in Vishaka, and sun is in Jupiter Nakshatra. Right? There are astrologers who say that there might be a slight parivartan happening there, because because of the influence of sun, and the Pi Padidi is kind of based on if there is any planet being exalted, debilitated, or having its Mul Trikon in a particular nakshatra. You consider those 3 influences. Now, to take it to the next level, you can even look at if any planet is born in any particular nakshatra. That is like the 4th layer, you could say. So like Saturn is born in Revati, so that will have a influence of itself. Sun is born in Vishaka, that is having its own influence. I think Venus is born in Jupiter is born in Purva Falguni, so that will have its own influence. So you can begin to think along those lines also. And then what houses are Jupiter ruling? That is one more thing. Now, suddenly, if you begin to look into yogas, now one simple thing I can say, Amanji, even in transits and stuff, I was discussing this with you before. Like if 2 planets are, say you have 2 planets conjunction in your chart, right? In transit, those 2 planets are being conjunct. Like say you have, Sun and Venus. Let's look at Sun and Mercury conjunction, right? And you have that in your chart. In transit, suddenly Sun and Mercury is conjunct somewhere. And need to be any house. Immediately that exact conjunction in your chart will be activated also, where you'll face those kind of events, stuff like that. But it will have a flavor of both the houses where the conjunctions are happening. It will have a flavor of the transit house. It will also have the flavor of your natal chart house also. So both will actually play out. And I've seen this very strongly, like especially in conjunction. Like right now there's a 3 or 4 planet conjunction in Leo. People who have exact conjunction, exact conjunction, suddenly it's as to that particular area of the houses actually.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's aspecting or not or anything like that.
Too much going on these days.
Yeah, but this is one thing I can begin to encourage people to look into the yogas, how it would apply the nakshatra level. Just that now you have to look at, if two planets are exchanging, look at the houses that is connected with particular planets. Are they good houses, bad houses, things like that.
Yeah, the chemistry between the bhavas and the chemistry between the nakshatras and the lords absolutely makes sense. It's
because
level of research for sure.
Yeah, it's eventually what I've seen happening is that like there is this it's like anything, it's like a resonance literally, like if any connection is there, it will just play out. So that's one thing I've seen. So with yogas, it can take it to the next level. But I think yogas, it's going to take a lot of research, in my opinion. I do believe that eventually it's possible to make nakshatra yogas eventually. That can also happen eventually. Now you have to remember all the names are just Sanskrit names given at that is relevant at that point in time. If they say Sakata yoga is like oxen cart. You go like an oxen cart. You go up and down like an oxen cart. Or you forward and backward. You can in this day and age there'll be new astrologers in future who'll be actually making like Facebook yoga, whatever.
Yeah.
Like getting defeated in Facebook or something like that. They'll actually make that. It's actually possible. So
wow.
Yeah, Manji.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sandeep ji. I know it is really late for you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I don't know how I can thank you for this session. You do have to come back again because otherwise people gonna blackmail me on my email. We only want to hear him, not you. So that's what is going on now. And the statistics of my YouTube is saying the same thing. So it's a beautiful opportunity for all of us, including myself, to learn from you. And as I always say that I cannot get enough of you or of the Pi team. So love to have you back, and beautiful session. Because Tikshna Nakshatras, as we were discussing before also, that whenever people talk about Ardra, Mula, people think only that this person or the native is only about the bad things. And I still remember Dr. Pai once mentioned to me, especially for the Mula, he said it, I don't remember the full phrase, but all I can recall is the best mothers, he said, he has seen as Mula mothers. See, not many people going to relate to that. Not many people going to believe that. But I truly believe, because he comes with a lot of research and he does not say things like that. So I really wanted to take your insights as well on the same topic. So it's beautiful that you have mentioned about the turmeric part with the Ardra in Kerala. So how beautifully the thought came into my mind that in order to digest turmeric, you need a black pepper. So
interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah.
How the 1/7 axis is working between these Tikshna Nakshatras. So if you combine these nakshatras in a positive manner, and that's what all Rahu is all about, about the daily positive affirmations, to channelize him in a better state, and the way he going to show you the way, not any other planet can do that. I truly believe. So thank you, Sandeep ji. Have a great night, and we'll see you again.
Yeah, sure, Amanji.
Thank
you. Thank you,
Sandeep.
Thanks
ji.
again.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.